Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be making party jollof rice in bowl. This is about 40 cups of rice. I'll be showing you how to make your jollof rice to be grainy and not sticky or soggy, to be delicious as well. I'll be showing you the accurate measurements and everything. Like, this will be a very detailed video. If you want to learn, then you have to keep watching, and please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. So we'll start by preparing our tomato and pepper base for this jollof. In here I have my fresh ripe red tomatoes, I have my Scotch bonnet, and then I have my Shombo peppers. There are two variants here, the tiny ones and then the big ones. I usually use tatasha as well, but since I couldn't find them, I'll just use a good quantity of Shombo and it will give me what I want. Then notice that the quantity of my Shombo to my tomatoes, I have like about 60% Shombo and then 40% tomatoes. To get a good jollof, your peppers should be more than your tomatoes because we are still going to use tomato paste. Then I have my onions as well. I'll be using lots of onions. That's just a little picture of it. I'll go ahead now to remove the stalk and the seeds of my Shombo pepper and my Scotch bonnet pepper. Some people don't like removing the seeds of their Shombo pepper, but I like removing it just to be double sure. Then I'll go ahead now to wear a latex glove, and then I'll be removing it because I don't want pepper to pepper my hand. This is a lot of Shombo. So I'll also go ahead now to remove the stalk of the Scotch bonnet pepper as well. Once I'm done with the peppers, I also go ahead to thresh my onions. Just remove the back and set that aside. Then I'll also go ahead to wash my tomatoes. I'll cut it up to remove any dirt or all those black stuff inside tomatoes. I'll cut that up, add it to a pot first at the base, and then I will wash my Shombo as well, drain it, and also add it to the pot as well. Now I'll also wash my Scotch bonnet pepper, add that, and then slice open my onions, add it to the pot, cover and allow it to simmer on low heat till the water content has reduced, just like this. Like, I'll still simmer this till the water has dried up completely. I don't want any moisture in this at all. Now this is what we are aiming for, exactly like this, no water. We'll turn off the heat and then we are going to blend that. Now for my protein, I'll be using chicken and beef as well. I washed that and I'll be adding it to a big pot. Now we are going to season our protein. For this, I'll be using some slices of onions, lots of it, and then I'll also be using some roughly chopped up peppers, my Scotch bonnet pepper, and then I'll be adding some grated ginger and garlic. And then also now for the spices, I'll be using Benny. You can use whatever spice you like. So I'll be adding 2 sachets of that, and then I'll be adding my thyme as well. I'll be using tiger thyme. You can use whatever brand you like. Then I'll also be adding some rosemary as well from Tiger as well. Then curry powder from Tiger. I also like their aroma curry powder as well, but this is also good. Now I'll be adding some chicken seasoning. That's Larsor chicken from the same company. And then I'll be adding some stock cubes as well. I'll also be adding some salt as well. And then I'll add just very little water to help this meat steam. I'll not be adding too much yet. Stir everything till it is thoroughly combined, and then I'll cover and simmer on low heat for like 10 minutes till all the spices and seasoning has penetrated the meat, so it will be tasty. You can choose to marinate for at least 2 hours overnight, but I didn't have such luxury of time. Now once the meat has steamed and produced enough water, I'll be adding in more water to cook this meat through because I need the water for the stock. So I added about 2 cups of water and then stirred it all in till it is thoroughly combined, and I'll be steaming this meat till it is well cooked. A few minutes later, I check back on our protein and then I'll be transferring it to a bigger cooker. Now we'll check back on it, and then our chicken by this time is properly cooked. This is semi-hard chicken, so I have to scoop it out and then allow the beef to cook properly till it is well cooked and softened. So a few minutes later, I check back on our beef and it is properly cooked now. So I'll go ahead to scoop it out of the meat stock and set that aside for frying. I'll also go ahead to drain the meat stock, and while that is draining, I'll set that aside and I'll go ahead now to heat up some oil in a pan, add some onions for flavor, and we'll be frying our chicken first. I'll also do the same with the beef, so we'll fry that till it is golden brown and we'll set that aside. So while the chicken is frying, I'll go ahead to check back on our meat stock that is draining. Look at all the debris it's drained out. Then this is our liquid gold we'll be using for our jollof rice. You need to have a very rich meat stock. That's why you have to season your meat properly with enough spices and seasoning, so your meat stock will be rich, because the richness of your meat stock determines the richness of your jollof rice. I'll set that aside and check back on our chicken. It's properly fried now, so I'll scoop it out of the hot oil and go ahead to fry the beef as well. Now we'll go ahead to make our jollof proper. I've drained out the oil to remove all the debris from frying the chicken and the beef. Now in here I have some grated ginger, some grated garlic, and some grated nutmeg. So I'll go ahead to add the ginger and garlic, add lots of onion, and then I'll stir that in and allow it to fry a little bit. Next, I have my spices here. In here I have some curry powder, thyme, rosemary, and chicken seasoning. I'll go ahead to add everything in and we'll stir that and allow it to fry to release all its flavor and all its goodness into this oil. I also go ahead to add my grated nutmeg as well, stir everything in, and we'll be frying it on low heat for a few minutes. I also go ahead to add some washed bay leaves, stir it all in, and this is where we build the flavor. Everything is done in stages to build flavor. So we're going to allow these onions to fry a bit till it's translucent. This is what we are aiming for. And I'll go ahead now to add our tomato paste. This is about 800 grams of tomato paste. Now we are going to mix that in properly into the oil and the onion mixture. This stage is very, very important. You have to fry this tomato paste properly so it loses all its tangy and sour taste and it becomes very sweet. So we'll be frying this for like 15 to 20 minutes till the oil starts floating to the top, and when you taste it, the tomato paste is no longer sour. It does not slap. I hope you understand. So I transfer that to a bigger pot and we'll be adding our pepper base, the blended tomato onion shombo that we pre-cooked earlier. Then I'm going to stir everything in and we'll also fry this for another 10 to 15 minutes till everything is properly combined and sweet. The tomato has lost all its tangy and sour taste. That's just what we are aiming for. So we'll be frying this till the oil starts floating to the top and our jollof base is sweet. Now we'll be adding our liquid gold, the meat stock we drained earlier. I'll stir everything in, and then this is the point to adjust your seasoning. So I'll taste and add some seasoning cubes. I'll also add some benny, and then I'll stir it all in and add some salt as well. Then we'll stir everything in properly, and then we'll cover and allow this to simmer for like 5 to 10 minutes, just so everything comes together and it starts boiling. So I went ahead to reduce this jollof base, and now we'll be adding our properly washed rice. This is about 20 cups of rice. I'll be cooking it twice. I'm making about 40 cups of rice, but I'll be cooking it twice because I don't have a very big pot. So I just properly washed this rice thoroughly till the water ran clear. I didn't parboil it, I just washed it. And then I'll add it to our jollof base and we'll stir it in till it is thoroughly combined. And once it is combined, I noticed that I needed more jollof base, so I scooped in some more and added a little bit, and then we'll stir that in till it is thoroughly combined as well. So once I've combined it thoroughly and I'm okay with the color consistency I'm seeing, I won't be adding in any more jollof base. Now we'll be adding in water to help cook this rice. So I'll be using hot boiling water. It's better to use hot water and not room temperature water, so you maintain the temperature in the pot and your rice will cook evenly, so and it won't get soggy. So I'll just add enough water just to cover the rice, just a little bit, like about half an inch above the surface of the rice. You don't need much water. Steam cooks rice and not water. So we'll cover the pot and allow it to cook on medium heat. Then we check back a few minutes later and the water has dried up a bit. You can now see the surface of your rice. There's still water in the pot though, but at least you can see the surface of your rice. Then we'll reduce the heat to the lowest, like the least possible limit of your cooker. And then I'll be covering the rice with some foil paper to trap in steam. Like I said earlier, steam cooks your rice and not water. So we'll cover that with a foil paper and cover the pot properly till the rice is well cooked. So we'll check back on our rice a few minutes later and our rice is done. The water has dried up and I'll just stir that in thoroughly and our rice is ready. It is grainy, it is not soggy, and even if you think your rice is not properly cooked at this point, please don't add any more water. You end up with soggy mashed up rice. Just cover it with the foil paper and with the cover of the pot. Still leave it on low heat and allow the steam to do its work. The steam will cook this rice till it is properly done. You don't need water. So a few minutes later, I just opened up the pot and our rice is ready. So I'll be adding some margarine, green bell peppers and onion slices to this rice and I'll stir that in. The margarine will add shine to our rice, keep it grainy even when it's cold, and then the onions and the green bell peppers will add lots and lots of flavor to this jollof rice. So you need to add these three. They are compulsory. So we stir that in and just give it a quick stir and our jollof rice is ready. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and you found it helpful. The complete list of ingredients and their measurements will be in the description box. I'll just cover my rice, set that aside, and voila, this is what we have. So this was a contract by a client, so I'll be dishing it into bowls. I got about 60 of these bowls. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe and you will not be scared again to make jollof rice in bulk. See you guys in my next video. Bye.